it sounds crazy, but going down there, Ball State, which traditionally Western hasn't played real well down there, and going down there and beating the Ball State team that we thought was really good offensively. And for us, fortunately, offensively, we had it going pretty good. That's about as good as we can play, or have played, I should say that, in the last couple of years, considering where we're at. We had exceptional play by a lot of people, and then defensively, we gave up some points for the first time. Really, it's probably the most points have been scored since the first game. But they came up with 3 big turnovers in the first half, which really helped us. And then they in the beginning of the second half, which I thought was the most important part there, we took the ball, we went down and scored, and then we stopped them. And so I thought that was a big key point in that game there. Eastern presents a little bit different problems now. We're going back to the spread offense again, so it's a little bit change of pace for defensively. And they got some players, and there's a lot of games they've been in. Northwestern goes right down to the wire. They beat Toledo. They take Central Michigan overtime, which they actually, that game they were actually winning for most of the game, and so. They're a dangerous team. They got a lot of good talent running around, and I know they're pretty excited about their win last week against Toledo, and they'll be pretty excited about coming to Waldo to play us. So it'll be an interesting Saturday.
What's a big one recruiting-wise for you in terms of battles against them in state?
I think it always helps when you're in state games. It doesn't seem like we go against them that much recruiting-wise. I think that the expanded recruiting territories of a lot of the MAC teams, you see it, but you don't see it as much as when I was first in this league. But you want to beat your in-state rivals, and Eastern for us. Every game I've been involved in Eastern, it's going down to the last drive. It's when I was first here as a coordinator, and this one here, and there's been a lot of offense in those games. So hopefully we can turn the tide a little bit this one.
When you say you don't go against them that much, is that because recruiting nationally is more important now than it used to be?
I think all of us in this whole league, we all got our little, we've expanded a little bit more. So, Florida is a good area for us, and there's other teams that are going down to Georgia, there's other teams going down to Texas, there's other teams going down to, of course, Ohio, and we don't go much into Ohio, so we don't run into the Bowling Greens and those type people. So it's I just think it's getting a little bit wider for us. Now we do go against them. I mean, we do we go against them at times, and it's. They got good facilities, and they got good people there, and they got good coaching staff, and it's. But we never talk about the other team. We always talk about our place.
Does it say something about them that you start 0-6, they come up with performance, don't win, they haven't quit yet, or anything like that?
Yeah, they definitely haven't quit. I mean, you watch the last three plays on tape from the Toledo deal, and there's kids on the other side on the sideline. They're getting pretty excited, and. They definitely have not quit, and they shouldn't. It's not like they're getting blown out. I mean, they're playing a lot better defense. Northwestern, like I said, that went down to the wire. The Central game went down to the wire. The Ball State game was close. I mean, they played a lot of close contests in there, and one thing or another. I mean, they could just as easily be 5-2, 4-3.
Is this the kind of team you have to be ready for just about anything? I mean, they seem to throw in a lot of gadget-type plays. They did against Michigan State. You guys have to be ready for something.
Yeah, I think we all do, because at this time of the year, it's getting harder and harder offensively. Because everybody's got you down. Everybody's got tendencies. You just go out there and you're in this personnel. 73% of the time you're in this. You're throwing or running the ball, and everybody's trying to get away from it, but at the same time, if it's working, you don't want to get too far away from it. So, for them to, get a couple trick plays, and, the teams that jump on us early have had success against us. So, we got to be really conscious of the fact that we can't let big plays happen on special teams and defensively.
Your quarterback, Andy Schmidt, likes to run a little bit more than a lot of the other guys you've seen this year. Is that going to change your
plan defensively at all?
No, anytime you're in that gun run, you always got to plan on that guy's going to be a runner, and and in this league, there's so many teams now are going to it. We were just talking to a scout, and he says, you and Northern are one of the few teams that actually line up behind the center and actually hand the ball off anymore. So, which is kind of a good thing because you're getting so much practice against it. But he is a runner. I mean, and he's a guy that can move around, and but you got to be ready for it.
Why do you think so many teams have gone with
Fad, it's just like it used to be the 50, the OP defense. Everybody ran that, and all of a sudden Miami comes out and runs a 4-3, and now everybody goes to the 4-3, and I wouldn't say a quick fix. It's one of those things where you tailor made it. I think two high schools now are going to you put your best athlete at quarterback and go back there, spread it out, let them run. So then the opportunities to get one of those guys is a lot better than it was 4 or 5 years ago. Your traditional quarterbacks, they're hard to find anymore. When you find them, you feel pretty lucky. But it's you can get those type guys a little bit easier now than you could be before.
On Saturday, your offense was able to throw the ball effectively. Mark Bond had over 130 yards rushing. Was that the attributes probably we're after again, but as far as your offense went?
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, that might be as good as we've played in 2 years. Consider, when your quarterback goes 20 to 24 and really two throwaways, a drop, and another one that he just overthrew it a little because of something else. But you feel pretty good about that. Our guys, our receivers, were getting in the right spots, and then Ryan checking into good run plays. And I thought it was the most physical run game wise we had too. And when people don't realize, Bob Johnson, he goes down at one point. At certain parts of the game, there's a freshman at Andy Lau, and just Dom, and there's Robbie Crotola, and then at the right guard was Paul Wozakowski, and our right tackle was Steve Elderson, who were three guys that we recruited that really should be freshmen, and Steve isn't because we had to play him last year. But we're still really, really young, and the tight end is Ledbetter and Matt Stevens. I thought Matt Stevens played a lot better than he's played. He's looking better. And of course our wideouts, the only guy that didn't even see the field was Joey. So it takes a little bit of time, but I was pretty pleased about the way they approached it and how they went about their business.
Did you see this offense like in the back of your mind during like the spring game, for example, when the receivers were struggling, you didn't have all this personnel? Was there a vision that this offense could become this year, or at that point did you not see it?
I see it because I've been involved in it. Our first year here, we didn't have. Steve Neal, was really an undeveloped guy, and Corey Austin was just a young freshman. But as long as you stay on top of it, and the key is, as a quarterback. I mean, can he figure out what's going on out there? And and that was the whole key. Where it's if you have a guy back there, I don't care how good the receivers are. If you have a guy back there who doesn't know what he's doing, then it's some issues. But I think you're seeing more things happen. I think the offensive line, they haven't given up a sack in 3 of the last 4 games. And they're doing a good job, but then you got to credit the wideouts for getting open. You got to credit the quarterback for getting rid of the ball. You got to credit the running back for his pass protection. So I do think it's getting more in sync.
How satisfying today was that for Ryan after all he's been through from his career and from this year as well?
I think he's really having a lot of fun. I saw him come off as probably as animated as I've ever seen him when Ledbetter, Brandon caught that ball and ran 81 yards, because that's the exact same pattern that 3 weeks ago against Temple. He kind of he dropped, he got hit, but that's the kind of thing. And I think it's satisfying for a quarterback knowing that I can drop back and I can do my job, and other guys can go out there and get that thing done. But he's the same way. He's just like Dom and all those other guys. All they want to do is win. They don't care. If he throws 10 passes and we win, he could care less. Just go out there and win. And that's what I like about our seniors. There's 9 of them out there. It doesn't make a bit of difference, just as long as they win.
You guys are on the verge of being bowl eligible. I know a couple guys over at ESPN have you guys getting into a bowl game this year. Do you think thoughts like that are starting to creep into your guys' head, or are they really focused on the task at hand?
I think they're focused on task at hand, but I'm not naive to not think that, hey, if we keep on doing, which I don't think is a bad thing. Last year I thought it was a bad thing. This year I think, if that's where you want to go, that's fine, but this is what you got to get done now. So I think they'll handle a little bit better. But, in the MAC, bowl eligible doesn't really mean a whole lot anymore. Especially, all these teams with the 12 games, I mean, they go out there. I mean, there's a lot of teams out there that got 1 or 2 losses, and they're not very good, because of who they played. And it's just, that's just the way the MAC is. The Big 12, they go out there and they pick up 11 of the 12 go up and pick up 1AA teams. We pick up Florida State. So it's 2 separate rules going on out there. But we don't. I mean, I don't care. I mean, I'm really happy with what we're doing, and we'll just keep on going and see what happens at the end.
Satisfying is it as a unit to have a game like that?
It's excuse me. It's very satisfying because from the start of the season in camp, that's what you're working to. You're working to the efficiency and just being smooth, just throwing the ball, running the ball, pass protecting, and just putting a complete game together and going out and winning. It was very satisfying to finally see it happen.
You got kind of coming up with a little makeshift unit up there at the offensive line. Can you talk about that and how those trying to incorporate all those freshmen and younger players?
Yeah, our motley crew, as we like to call it. And, it's just everyone works hard, and you don't know. You're one play away from being a starter, and that's the mindset we take. And everyone's got to work hard. Everyone's got to know what they're doing, regardless of whether you're a senior or you're a redshirt freshman or even a true freshman, as Steve Ellingson found out last year. And then this year he's playing again, too.
Is it, I mean, obviously at this point you've had young guys enough you stepped in and there's enough veterans or whatever. Are you guys one more injury away from or is there more?
No, I don't think so. I think the coach is doing a great job bringing guys in that can play, and then getting them ready to play. So I think we're good up front, regardless of who we play, because they're going to be ready to play.
You see this offense take off the way it did against Ball State. How gratifying is that for you guys on the offensive line, even though you guys don't get that glory headline or anything like that? But seeing Ryan Cubit and Moran have those kind of days, how much satisfaction you guys take in that?
Oh, it's great. I mean, Ryan on the field on Saturday, it was amazing. I've never seen him that happy and that excited to play football, and especially the long pass to Ledbetter. He was jumping up and down, running down the field. So I mean, it's great to see that and see Mark have a great day and running the ball hard and just plugging it in there.
Do you guys, when there's no sacks, like how much does that have? Obviously, you don't want to allow any sacks, but do you guys keep track of what games you allow sacks and that sort of? Does that kind of it's an individual thing for you guys?
Yeah, I mean, you take pride in not allowing any sacks, but then, it's a 24-hour rule. Once that's done and over with, now you got to concentrate in the next game, and it starts all over again.
Is there motivation this week to kind of stake claim to the best MAC team in Michigan? Is that something you guys think about at all?
Oh yeah, I mean, it's at the back of your mind. I mean, more for us, it's just the whole process we're going through. It's every week. It's the way I look at it. It's our championship week, and to stay alive in what we want to do, we have to win every week. And a letdown means we can't accomplish what we want to accomplish this season.
How much of that plays into it? I mean, there's not a lot to gain by beating Eastern Michigan, but there's a lot to lose. And it's a motivational factor. What do you guys cling on to?
I don't necessarily. There's not a lot to gain because there is a lot to gain. You win this Saturday, now you get another chance to win next Saturday and the next Saturday, and then make it to what you want to do at the end of the season. So I think it's a big game. Like I said, it's our championship game. Eastern's a good team, and they can beat us just as easy as we can beat them. So it's a big game. We have to take each week just one game at a time.
Anything else for Dominic?
Central Michigan, how much do you guys do the scoreboard watching at this point, if at all?
And you notice it. I mean, you look at the results from the weekend. Hey, they're Central, but that's about it. Guys are really focused on just Eastern Michigan right now and what we have to do to practice hard, get ready for this Saturday.
You guys have watched them though on their national televised games?
Yeah, when they're on, you watch them, but that's about as far as it gets until the week before November 10th.
You, with Amir Ismail, do you ever feel bad for the Ball State guys last week trying to pick him up? Are you glad you're on the other side of the field?
Yeah, to be honest with you, I don't get to see him play a lot because we come off the field, we go to the bench, and we start talking to coach about adjustments and things we need to fix and whatnot. And you hear our crowd blow up, and peek over and hey, I'm your guy's back. But that's about it. I don't really get to see him play.